Batman Arkham Asylum began development in May 2007. Holy rusty metal, Batman! That's almost 20 years ago. The rights at the time were owned by Eidos Interactive, who approached a small British game developer, Rocksteady. You may have heard of them. They made Suicide Squad, kill the franchise. Oof, that game. Writer Paul Dini, best known for his work for some of the best episodes of Batman the Animated Series, was later approached by DC Comics to work on a video game. Dini was intrigued by the proposition, thinking, hey, what if I wrote a comic, or say a movie, but, like, you could play it? What would that be like? Not long after, he and Rocksteady hooked up, not in like a sexual way, and were like, we make a good team. Their ideas perfectly aligned, forming, well, the game I'm talking about. Rocksteady were the ones who wanted to set the game in Arkham Asylum, and had already crafted various designs. The prison was going to be located on an island, separate from the mainland of Gotham. Its only link, a bridge. The cool thing about Dini's arrival was it gave him and Rocksteady the chance to work together, rather than separately. The story formed around the gameplay, and the gameplay formed around the story. Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on a Serious Earth, was a huge inspiration behind the game's story. And in terms of gameplay, Sefton Hill, the director, said that the team were heavily influenced by the gears and tools from games like Legend of Zelda and Metroid. Though setting the game in the city was, at one point, an idea, Rocksteady finalized their notion to set everything within Arkham Asylum, the prison, as it caged Batman within a location that was filled to the brim with enemies and people who really wanted to hurt him, like a lot. Because the team wanted to make the game feel iconic in terms of what Batman is, they approached Kevin Conroy, the one and only to voice him in the game. They also reached out to Mark Hamill, who, when after seeing the concept design for the Joker in the video game, decided that he wanted to go for a more darker approach in juxtaposition to the animated series. They also met with Arlene Sorkin, who voiced Harley Quinn in the animated series, each reprising their role from that show. From start to finish, Arkham Asylum took 21 months to produce, with its combat system being the hardest mechanic to develop. Though nowadays many developers have copied Rocksteady for the design of their combat system, when first developing it, Rocksteady made a rhythm game that was two-dimensional. Yeah, right, like how do they go from one dimension to another dimension? After a few more revisions and making it a little bit more 3D, they ended up creating a system that is now legendary within the game industry, all based on music and beats and rhythm. Mr. Freeze was meant to be in the game, but was removed as he didn't suit the story. He's one of those rare Batman villains who doesn't actually want to fight Batman. Batman just opposes him when he does something evil for his wife. The Mad Hatter was also meant to have a tea party in the middle of Arkham Asylum, however that was also removed as it didn't suit the game's darker tone. Last but not least, Rocksteady did develop ideas and design mechanics for both the Batwing and the Batmobile. However, these plans were scrapped as it would have taken a lot longer to develop the final product. 7 months before Arkham Asylum's release, Sefton and the team conjured the basic concept for a potential sequel, Batman Arkham City. Hey, I know that game, what? And yes, this is why they added that cheeky little secret room in that office location. Rocksteady, more like Rock, stop, don't blow up that wall, please, no. Ah, man. The sequel to Arkham Asylum was going to be a typical number 2. A little bit bigger, a little bit badder, a little bit more crazier, and a little bit more gargoyle-ier. And man, look at those posters. Whoever made these deserves all of the raises. Everyone. Even mine. Originally, Rocksteady were like, hey, what if we did the same game, but in Gotham, rather than a prison? Then reality hit them. Oh wait, technology isn't advanced enough for this. We'll need at least another, 6 years or so. With those thoughts, they began properly developing Arkham City in February 2009, essentially working on the game's back to back, alright. This was an organic transition for the team, as by the time they figured out how Batman could glide from one building to another within Arkham Asylum, they felt far more confident in setting the sequel within a city environment. Again, the old Batmobile was considered but scrapped after they realized half the terrain in Arkham City is under the sea, and cars don't drive too good on water, do they? Hill went out and said that the goal for the sequel was to deliver a game that had a Batman in Gotham feeling. Those quotation marks didn't make any sense. Again, the game had a dark tone and was heavily inspired by something like Batman Beyond: The Return of Joker. The team expanded on everything, doubling the number of animations, adding more gadgets, yes, I love the ice bombs, and redeveloping versions of Detective Vision. As from player feedback, it was considered a little too useful. At one point they even considered putting a timer on it, but that was scrapped as it just didn't suit the gameplay design. They also doubled on the Riddler trophies, the collectibles from the first game, with the sequel having over 440 trophies to collect. Man, I wonder why they didn't double the trophies in Arkham Knight. That had like none in comparison to Arkham City. They also introduced new playable characters such as Catwoman and Robin within the DLC. Finally, the prison city that the game took place in was carefully curated. The team considered different turfs for different villains. Dax Ginn, marketing game manager at Rocksteady at the time, said the following: "If you move into Joker's territory, you get a very Jokerized experience, and all the artwork on the buildings, whether that's graffiti, signage, or whatever it might be, gives you a dense kind of Joker experience. So our art team has really put a lot of effort in making that sort of transition between one turf zone to another." I wonder what the origins of all of this is. Great transition, Oliver. Thank you. Oh wait, Batman Arkham Origins. This game was made by Oh wait, they didn't make this, did they? Then who did? Warner Brothers, Montreal, who began developing the game in late 2011. Origins was quickly tossed together because Rocksteady needed more time in developing their third installment to the Arkham series. WB Montreal were known for doing the Wii U version of Arkham City, which maybe people don't remember, but was like weirdly a big deal because they added like improvements to the graphics and stuff. It was like a thing. They really promoted that. Origins' plot was inspired by Batman, Legends of the Dark Knight, and of course the graphic novel Batman Year One, with the team describing its story as a sort of Year Two. Conroy and Hamill were recast in Batman Arkham Origins, respectively by Troy Baker as the Joker and Roger Craig Smith as Batman, and both of them did a bang-up job. It also has multiplayer. That was a thing. Remember that? Nope, me neither. The big switch up was the game's Christmas setting and amazing soundtrack. It's honestly the best in the entire series. They also created a new lighting system to reflect the edgier, younger Batman. They also introduced crime scenes. These are some of the best gameplay moments in the entire series, which were first-person segments where you, the player, the Bat, have to rewind time to figure out what happened. While WB Montreal were working on Origins, Rocksteady were working on Batman Arkham Knight, the final chapter in their Batman trilogy. This game introduced a brand new character, Jason Todd. Oh wait, I mean the Arkham Knight, who, fun fact, his model featured the same amount of polygons as the entire environment from Arkham Asylum. That's a lot of guns and a lot of poly. This game finally added the Batmobile after so many years that Rocksteady wanted to develop it. And it's a tank. Huh? I did not see that coming. Hill said that it was a ginormous challenge to undertake. We didn't want it to be like, okay, the Batmobile is so good, I'll just stay in that all the time. Or, Batman is so powerful gliding around, I won't be using the Batmobile. There's a definite need to use both. Paul Dini did not come back to write the sequel, and with his exit came the gradual downfall of Rocksteady, maybe potentially Suicide Squad. That said, Rocksteady did stray away from fast travel, unlike WB Montreal, as they wanted the open world gameplay to be an integral part of the game's design. So, with the Batmobile, the team had to consider, how the hell do we make Gotham City? But they nailed it, considering both gliding, driving, parkour, and holy shit, man Bat, oh, I just peed myself. So, from a prison, to a city, to a slightly bigger city, to an even bigger city, what's next? Oh, another prison. And it's really small? Why? Batman Arkham Shadows. Made by Rocksteady, they didn't. WB Montreal, no, they didn't make it either. Who made this game? The company Camouflaj, who are best known for making Iron Man VR. They began developing this game in 2020, after pitching to DC about making a potential Batman game. Fun fact, some of the developers from Arkham Asylum and City helped Camouflaj in producing this game. But it wasn't a normal Arkham game. No. This is virtual reality, first person, and you can move your head around and stuff. Rocksteady had played with the idea with their DLC, but Arkham Shadows is a completely different beast. And no one's played it because it's on the Facebook thing, but everyone loves it. That's the funny thing, because we've all watched Batman Arkham videos play it. More people have probably watched him play it than played the game. Why did they make it for Facebook? Influences for the game's reimagined free-flow combat system were Half-Life Alyx, Beat Saber, and Superhot VR. Stealth was a huge challenge. The team had to implement everything from stealth takedowns, detective vision, smoke bombs, but it's all in VR, it's all in first person. And yeah, they nailed it. I haven't played it personally, but it looks like a fantastic game, and if I ever got VR, definitely one to buy. I think it's probably one of the best. The end. Thanks for watching. Oh no. No, please don't make me talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Rocksteady made another game that's in the Batman universe. The same one that they originally developed all the way back in 2009. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This began development in, holy moly, 2012? Okay, well, technically that was a different Suicide Squad game. This was being developed in 2012 by Warner Brothers Montreal. They even teased it in Arkham Origins. The game jumped around at Warner Brothers, going from WB Montreal and then to Rocksteady. People didn't really know what they were doing, and then the movie came out and was super successful. So Warner Brothers really wanted a video game with that IP. And at the time, Rocksteady were working on a Superman game, but then that didn't end up coming out. So I wish it did. The game is set in the Arkhamverse and takes place after Arkham Knight, and the company Unbroken Studios helped with the gameplay, and our favourite, Sweet Baby Inc. helped with the script and the story. I mean, helped is a nice word, but I don't think that's the right one. I mean, yeah, they only made 3 of the best video games of all time. Rocksteady definitely needs help to produce a 4th Arkham game. The game was a complete dumpster fire, involving countless development issues, like unfocused leadership, a toxic work environment, though when Sefton Hill and his business partner who founded Rocksteady just left during the game's development. They were just like, yeah, nah, I'm out. They were essentially throwing spaghetti at the wall, and nothing, not even a little bit of meat or tomato sauce stuck. Did I mention it's a live service game? I didn't mention that. Maybe I should have mentioned that. The team have stopped supporting the live service elements of the game as of January 2025, almost 10 years after the release of Arkham Knight. Comparing this game to Arkham Asylum and how they both were developed is really fascinating. Rocksteady, when they were unknown, they were eager and keen. Now, well, they're not really even Rocksteady. And what's going on with Warner Brothers Montreal? They actually did a really good job with Origins. Can they just make a sequel already? Apparently Ryan Payton, the studio head of Camouflaj, has said that he's very interested in making a second Arkham Shadows. Would we get another Arkham game? Probably. They do make a lot of money, and there is a good formula there. Don't forget to eat red meat every once in a while. I'm gonna go now. Bye!